Joseph Law here of TechBldrs. If you don't know, TechBldrs is an IT consultancy, and we provide IT support for all of our clients. And as such, this year we got asked quite often to take a look at cybersecurity insurance forms and help them fill them out. Now, we're not insurance agents, we're not insurance brokers, but it got me to thinking about why people are looking at cybersecurity insurance and what it does. So here's what I found. As of March 22 of this year, Harvard Business Review put out a little note in an article that said, hey, the cybersecurity insurance market collects about $5.5 billion in premiums. That's up from last year about 10% of $5 billion. Sounds like a great number, but they've been losing money year over year for the last few years. And that's because S&P Global says in 2020, the loss ratio, which is the money they collect versus the money they pay out in claims, has been up to 72.8%. That's pretty high number of the money that's going out of the insurance companies. This is mainly because the claims for ransomware have skyrocketed. GRC World Forum pretty much calculates for 2021, the claim average, it was about $570,000, an 83% increase from the year before. Now, most small companies aren't impacted by that. Most small companies are impacted by numbers like $10,000 to $75,000 for the ransom portion of it. But on the other side, many businesses in the U.S. still do not have cybersecurity insurance. More than 74% do not purchase cybersecurity insurance, primarily because the insurance costs have gone up significantly, about 30% since last year. It's more difficult to get, so you have to get a lot more things into your systems and implement those projects so that you can get cybersecurity insurance. It is increasing, though, because the rapid rise of ransomware is forcing everybody to take a look at this insurance. And there's also a rise in regulations, as well as companies requiring subcontractors to have that as part of their contract if they want to work for them. So the hardest part about cybersecurity insurance is how it pays out. What does it pay for? Well, when I look at all the things, first of all, you have to have a loss. You have to have a bill in your hand. If you don't have any loss, they can't pay it out. And if I look at it, basically 50% of it in 2020 was legal fees. Do you think lawyers were suing the malware lawyers, trying to get their money back? Absolutely not. They were basically fighting one another, fighting subcontractors, fighting customers, trying to protect you, or suing somebody else to separate the cost of the payouts. They'll also bring in third-party forensics teams so that they can try to pinpoint where the breach actually happened and who's at fault. So that costs quite a lot of money, and that's 50% of the cost. And many large companies go through that. Smaller companies probably will never go through that. 30% of the costs were for PR firms. You know, when you have a large client base, sometimes you have state mandated regulations that say you have to notify all your customers. Well, most of the smaller companies don't have that, but 30% of the cost of these things went to PR firms. So what's left? 20%. Well, 20% was used for IT recovery, if there was any that you had a bill for, ransom payment reimbursements. Insurance companies don't dictate whether you pay a ransom or not. Basically, what they do is determine whether the reimbursement is valid or not. Okay. So what's not covered? Not covered. You know, a lot of things like if you had ransom for 10 days and your systems were locked up for 10 days and you couldn't make a sale, guess what? That's not covered because you don't have a bill for that. If you have to pay payroll for those 10 days while those people sat around with no systems to work on, you can't get that recovered either. If you're trying to recover the systems to an older computer and an older software, and you say, hey, I'm going to just buy new equipment and upgrade the software, won't cover that either. If you were attacked by social engineering, where someone came in with a fake email and you wire transferred money out because you believed in the fake email to a fraudulent account, won't cover that. If you are part of a regulatory industry where things like HIPAA and PCI and FINRA will levy fines on you because you didn't follow some of their rules, it won't pay for that. And if someone takes over your bank account, it won't pay for that either. So what does cybersecurity really pays for? Only things that you have bills for. And most of our clients don't even get a bill when there's a recovery to their systems. So who needs it? Well, if you don't have daily tested backups, you probably need cybersecurity because your IT bill is going to be pretty high. If you hold on to personal identifiable information of your customers or your employees on your computer, not onto some third-party systems, you probably need cybersecurity insurance. If it's a condition of your contract that you need cybersecurity insurance, you'll need that. If it's a regulation that requires you to have cybersecurity insurance, it's going to require that. If you're a fund manager, an attorney, or a CPA that handle a lot of PII information, personal identifiable information, you probably need cybersecurity insurance just to defend yourself from lawsuits. Okay, but things like other small businesses that don't really have those, like myself, I have all my payroll in a third-party payroll system. I have all my insurance and my healthcare system somewhere else. 401k is managed by someplace else. All of those things are outside of my systems, and therefore cybersecurity insurance won't really help me. All right. So think about it for your company and see if cybersecurity insurance is something that you really need or if it will help you out. All right. Bye for now.